Alright, I'm going to be creating a new design today, a very simple one. So it's not going to be that long, so just follow through. Alright, welcome back everybody. If you are new to this graphic design class, please go through any of the previous video I have shared so that you can get started with designing with Coreldraw. Actually, each of my videos are centered at absolute beginners. So whether you're just starting out with graphic design or you have little experience in that, you won't have problem following through with my tutorial. Alright, without wasting any time, let's get started. The first thing I want to do now is in the last class I explained how to draw your design background by selecting the rectangular tool, pressing and holding on the left click button and dragging over. Okay, if you don't know how to do that, another way you can go about that is double click on this rectangular tool. Just like you can see, it has drawn this automatically. Then go back to your pick tool, then you can adjust as you want it. So I just want to have something like this, though I like to have my design in feet, that's my unit. Then I can select my image. I want it to be 1.5 by 1.5. That is not like a standard size for any design. I just love to have a square shaped design, and the reason being that it can easily fit in any area you want to place it, like maybe on your WhatsApp status, your profile picture and all of that. So that's why I always like squared shape rather than rectangle. Alright, so I need to zoom this up so I can see the entire thing I'm doing. So I'll just come to view. So no, I'm not going to full screen anyway. Preview selected only, so you can see. So I'm going to click on F4 or Alt F4 depending on how your keyboard is, sorry, or FN F4. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I want to divide this particular shape. Just like I've said, Ctrl C, I have copied that, then I can use Ctrl V to paste. So I have two of these, so I just want to adjust this to about this size. Okay, that is okay. So for E, I want to apply a color without wasting my time. So I want blue. I'm going to right click on this, right clicking on this to remove the what's it called, to remove the outline, the black outline. So I right click on this. So this is not the color I want to use actually, so I'll double click on this layer. So it takes me to this area where I can customize the color I actually want for my design. So this is my color code, 252 216, then the rest should be 0. So click on any part here. So I have that color, or I can just modify this hexadecimal code to the code I prefer. So I can have FC excuse me, FCD 800. So that's the color I actually want for my design, FCD this. So alright, so that's what I want for my design. If you want to adjust it, you can double click on this and just make some modifications here. You can drag, you can change this, you can go anyway, like you see. So I'm just going to stay with this for now. Alright, the next thing I want to do is I want to give this layer color. So I'm going to use 10% black for now. Okay, then if you want to change that also, you can also double click here and just play around with the colors depending on what you want. Can you see? So you can play around and have different. Then you can use the hexadecimal or the RGB layer to modify your color. For example, if I type 250 and 242 239, see the color I have. So I think I'm cool with this. I love this. Okay, now the next thing I want to do is I want to import. Okay, before that I just want to type the name of my business. I'm just going to be using a sample for today. I don't know, what should I use? Sherry Lee. So let me just use that. So I drag my text and make it bold. So I want to change my font size. I'm sorry, my text font. So I click here. I have different fonts I can use. In my last design I used Frankly Stone and Strawberry, so this time around I want to use something else. So you can just go around your font and select the one you actually want to use. So I'm going to be using Bison Bold for now. Then I'm just going to make it bigger. Okay. If you don't have Bison Bold, please follow my previous tutorial on how to download fonts. So then I'm going to duplicate this layer, Ctrl C and Ctrl V. Then I'm going to double click on this text to edit it, Ctrl A, and I'm going to change it to stores. So this time around I'm going to change this to Montserrat. So I'm going to use medium. Alright, so I'll make this kind of small, sorry. Alright, that's about that. Alright, let me just change this to Business Center. Alright, I'm not going to do any color adjustment for now. I'm just going to leave that. So I want to have another text. Yeah, I'm going to duplicate this. What I did is I just drag this down with my left click. Then when I get to the position where I needed to drop it, I just click on the right button. Or another way you can go about that is Ctrl C, Ctrl V, then drag down the other layer. So now I want to change this now to our services. So I'm going to click on the pick tool, then Control and K. We break this text into two different texts, so you can see. So now I'm going to change their font style first. I'm going to be using Calibri. Calibri is a normal font. You have that on your system already, so don't worry. So I'm going to be using Calibri normal. So I want to reduce the size to 70. And I want to use the same for this. So reduce this to about 100. Okay, now for these services I'm going to use this color but the dark shade of it. So you can see this is light, so I double click on this color, then I drag it down a bit, it becomes a bit dark because we're adding more black to that color. You can see, just like you can see. Alright, so I have that already. So the next thing I want to do is I want to type some text. Spiral binding. So that I don't waste the time, I'm going to pause this so that I can actually type all the text. All you just have to do is okay, let me just say scanning, press enter to move on to the next line, photocopy. So let me save it. Now I want to make my text bigger. Okay, that's the first thing. I'm going to change it to Monstrat. Okay, so I want to make it a big. So now I need to adjust the spacing between them. I click on my shape tool, then I drag down this layer. Okay, then I need to, if you look at the text, this is capital S and this is small b, this is capital D and this is small a. I need to balance this font style or this text. So I come to text, come to change case, and I'll change it to sentence case. So in that way, sorry, not sentence, title rather. So in that way the first letter of each word will be capitalized. So okay, that is set already. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste this, then move the duplicate copy to the front so that I can have two of them because I still have more items I want to add. Okay, now I need to add bulletin. You can have different bulletin depending on what you want. So let me just zoom up so you can see what we have. I can use my circular tool as bulletin. I can have it like this. So we can use this as our bulletin, and all I just have to do is drag this down and right click. then press Ctrl R what, it will just repeat that same thing for me. So then I can just drag all of this to this end and right click. So with that, I don't have to start drawing the circular tool every now and then. So okay, that is set. So the next thing I want to do now is I want to add an image. So I right click on this area, click on import, then I want to go back. So if you're yet to see the video of how I downloaded this image I'll be using without the background, then you should check out some of my video tutorials. You'll see that. So I'm going to use this. So I click on import, then I just drag and drop. Okay. So I need to make this bigger. First, I need to remove this extra white spacing around this. So I click on the shape tool, then I highlight this area, then just drag it to the front a bit. I do the same for this. But if you're unable to do that, you don't have to worry about that. That will not stop you from doing what you need to do. So okay, now I drag this layer. Alright, let's zoom up, F4. Now if you look at this now, this text, some part of this text has been covered by this. So I just select the text, right click on the text, sorry, not that, select the text again, right click and say order bring to front of the page. So in that way to come to the front of this. So the next thing we need to do is click on this text, then come to right click on white color. That will give you some kind of outline that will make it visible even on this. So we need to change our outline size. So Fn F12 or just F12 on your keyboard. So I need to change the outline size. Okay, let's see if that is okay. No, that is not. So we need to go back again. Fn F12. I'll set it to 4. Okay, that's better. That's better. So the next thing I want to have is you can decide to change the direction of your picture by selecting this mirror horizontally here. You can see, so you can decide to change the direction it faces and all of that. So you can see. Alright, so now the next thing we want to do is I want to zoom this okay, in fact all this area I want to select them and move them up because I still need to add some other informations. So I go to my rectangular tool and click the rectangular tool and I just click and drag to this point. Okay, then I'm having this. So I right click on this, remove this background. Then you'll be wondering, why is this layer covering this? Don't worry, we are going to fix that, but let's just continue with our design for now. So what I want to do is I want to type in my phone number, just copy this and click on A, Control A, 081 40889913. So I want to make this bigger. Right, I need a bold version of this font, so I just come back to my Montserrat, then I go to extra bold. So with this I can change this color to white. Okay, so alright, so every other details I need to add, I'll add them here, my address, my contact and all of that. So I can say Lagos Street, Lagos, Nigeria, home address. So I can make it bigger, adjust this. So I'm going back to select Montserrat. It's always good to have less fonts in your design as it makes your design kind of unique. So this is my address and this is my social handle. at Godion's design. Alright, so the next thing I want to add is I want to add my icons. So I just zoom up this level. So I want to add up my icons. So to do that, I explained that I have a particular tool I use in my design. This tool is called Picon. So when I click on it, I can always get the icon for any particular business or thing I need. So this is for WhatsApp. I can use any of this WhatsApp logo. So I'm just going to drag and drop this one somewhere here. I also need for, unfortunately they don't have for Thread because Thread is just out. So I'm just going to pick for Facebook also. Alright, so I'm going to use this version for Facebook. Alright, but these are extraordinary too big, so I just need to resize them. Hold on the shift key while you drag that edge so that it can adjust proportionally. So now I'm going to drag this out and adjust also. What's the size of this? This is 0.49 by 0.49, so I'll just click on this and just do that too. So now we have the same size, so I just bring it here, then I change the color to white. So I do the same for this. I change the color to white, then I can have my text. Okay, now I can make that bold by changing it to semi-bold and applying the same thing to this, coming to semi-bold. Okay, alright, so the next thing I want to drag is address icon for my address. I can either type in address or location. It will give me the same icon I need. Okay, I'm going to be using this one. Okay, so if you can't get these icons, you can just go to Google and say download PNG icons. So sorry, I'm going to adjust to 49 to 49 so they can be the same size. So I'm going to change it to white. So I want to adjust the spacing between these two, so I drag up a bit. So alright, in that way I am done. So now the next thing I need to adjust is this image, but anyway, it's cool like that. I need to change each of these to semi-bold. Okay, then I can adjust these backward a bit. Alright, now the next thing I want to click on is I want to press and hold my left key here, then select freehand tools, then I'll just click, hold my control key and drag. So in that I'm going to right click on this, change the outline size to 2, then click on my pick 2, copy and paste, then drag down the copied version, then press Ctrl R to repeat the same thing. So in that way I have this. So by the time I zoom up, you see this is what we have. Very simple design, very simple design. So I decided that I'm just going to create something simple today without having to put in too much of colors and all of that. So we can have this and of that. So you can decide to add simple design or simple design like this, just small rectangular too, duplicate it, 1 2 I copy this, duplicate it, Ctrl R. Then I'm going to give all of them white color without an outline. Then by the time you look at this, look at what you have there. It's a kind of design. So you can either make it smaller or depending on what you want. You see, I have that. Okay. So with this now, you can just click on Ctrl A, Ctrl G. Ctrl A will select everything, Ctrl G will group them up, and boom, that's the design. So you can ungroup here, or pressing Ctrl U. You can decide to add a background image to this if you want to. All you just have to do is import your image from wherever it is in your folder. So your image, I can decide to use this, for example, though I will remove it. So this is it. I want to make it bigger. So I right click on this image, power clip, then click on this. So I hold my control key and click on this background to see if the image is there already. So yeah, it's there. So I want to adjust it, drag, I want to just drag so it cover that area I need it for. Alright, when I click on this and I go back to my design, you see that it's not really looking nice. So I can decide to click on it again, add transparency to this image, use uniform transparency. You can increase the transparency, then click on control and outside. So you can see it's still kind of fair. Then you can decide to change the background of this section to anything. You can just play around with different color to see the one that actually looks good for you. You can see, so you can go back to white and blah. So that's the end of this class, and that is the end of this design. You can design and decide to go in different direction based on what I've done. You can change your color. You can change this to purple, this color, and you can have a darker version of that color here. You see, so you can have any color that you actually want for your design. You can play around, change all these colors, and just do something that's unique. You see, so you can actually have anything you like. I can return this to black. Boom, we are done. So thank you for watching this video again. I believe you're going to try out something. Please, so I need to adjust this also to suit the new color. So at the end of the tutorial, this is what we actually have, and I believe you enjoy it. Thank you.